my father's 60th birthday dinner, someone in our family poisoned him. It was supposed to be a celebration, 60 years, the whole family together for the first time in months. We were all there, sitting around the dining room table, candles lit, wine poured, pretending we didn't hate each other when Dad stood up to give a toast. He raised his glass, smiled at all of us and said, "To family, the people who..." He never finished. His eyes rolled back. The glass slipped from his hand and shattered on the hardwood floor. Then he collapsed, his whole body convulsing, foam forming at the corners of his mouth. My mom screamed. Kason lunged across the table and caught him before his head cracked against the chair. Elena already had her phone out, dialing 911, putting it on speaker so we could all hear. The paramedic's voice was calm, too calm. "Based on what you're describing, this is consistent with poisoning. There's an antidote, but we need to know which substance we're dealing with. You have roughly a 2-hour window. After that, there's nothing we can do." 2 hours, the paramedic continued. "Whoever did this would know what they used. Is there anyone who might have had access to his food or drink?" We all looked at each other. The room went quiet except for Dad's ragged breathing on the floor. Then Elena spoke first. Kason poured the wine. Kason's head snapped toward her. "What? You poured everyone's glass tonight. You handed Dad his personally. I watched you. That doesn't mean Dad fired you 6 months ago." Elena's voice was cold, steady. "He kicked you out of the company. The company you spent 15 years building with him. He said you were a liability." His words. Kason was shaking his head. "That doesn't mean I poisoned him. He cut you from the will, Kason. Last month, you told me yourself. You said you'd never forgive him for it." I was venting. "I didn't mean you've been broke for months. You lost your apartment. You've been sleeping on friends' couches, and suddenly Dad dies and you're back in the will. The timing is pretty convenient." Kason looked around the room, desperate. "You can't seriously believe I would..." Mom, tell her." But Mom wasn't looking at him. She was looking at Elena. "Maybe," Mom said quietly. "We should talk about you, Elena." Elena froze. "Excuse me? 2 years ago, when you needed help, when you begged your father to pay for rehab. Do you remember what he said?" Elena's jaw tightened. "Don't." He said no. He said you needed to hit rock bottom on your own. He said he wouldn't enable you anymore. I've been sober for 14 months, and you've hated him ever since. You told me last Christmas that you'd never forgive him, that he abandoned you when you needed him most, that you wished..." "Don't." Elena's voice cracked. "Don't you dare finish that sentence. You wished he knew what it felt like to suffer." The words hung in the air. Elena was crying now. "I didn't do this. I didn't. I was angry, but I would never..." "Wouldn't you?" Elena wiped her face. Then she laughed, bitter, broken. "You want to talk about anger, Mom? You want to talk about reasons to want him dead?" Mom went still. "We all know, Mom, about the affair, about Jessica from his office, about the 3 years he spent lying to your face. Elena, you found out last month. I saw the divorce papers in your desk. You've been planning to leave him, take half of everything. But if he dies first..." Mom's face crumpled. "I would never hurt him. I loved him for 35 years. You loved a man who didn't exist. The real one cheated on you and made you feel like a fool. And now you're sitting here acting like the grieving wife while he's dying on the floor? Stop it." I finally spoke. My voice was hoarse. "All of you, just stop." But no one stopped. The accusations kept coming. Every secret we'd buried for years was being ripped open. Every grudge, every resentment, every quiet hatred we'd all pretended didn't exist. I looked at the clock. 1 hour left. Dad was barely conscious, his breathing shallow, his skin gray. Kason was cornered now. He'd poured the wine. He'd lost everything. He had the most to gain. Elena was dialing again. "I'm calling the police. They need to know it was him. I didn't do it." Kason was sobbing. "I swear on my life, I didn't touch his wine. I didn't." 40 minutes. Then I felt it. A hand on my wrist. Weak, trembling. Dad. His eyes were barely open. His lips were moving, but no sound came out. I leaned down, my ear close to his mouth. "I did it myself." I stopped breathing. "What?" "Terminal, diagnosed 3 months ago." No. Didn't want to be a burden. Wanted to go on my own terms. My father had poisoned himself. He planned this, but he hadn't planned on us doing this. His eyes moved slowly across the room, watching his wife, his son, his daughter, all of them standing there with accusations still fresh on their lips. His grip tightened on my wrist. "Aconitine. Tell them. Aconitine." I screamed it at the phone. The paramedics confirmed. Sirens in the distance. Antidote administered 11 minutes later. He survived. Lived 2 more years, actually. But we never talked about that night. We didn't need to. Every family dinner after, we sat a little quieter, laughed a little less, made eye contact a little shorter, because we all remembered. Not what Dad did, what we did. How fast we turned on each other.